time for your next family vacation. And it's time for you to get on the road and take your family to the beach. And you're going for a 5-day trip.
Oh boy.
So you load everybody up in the car and you say, you know what? It's going to be a road trip. Load everyone up and you start driving. You have a 15-hour drive to get to your destination.
Oh, wow. Where are we going?
15 hours to the beach.
Woof. Okay.
So you're driving and driving, hour by hour, you feel worse and worse. You know, the first 2 hours, everyone's hyped. Well, the first 10 minutes, everyone's super hyped up, excited, road trip, singing along, dancing along. And then after about 15 minutes, everyone gets real tired real fast. But you get there. You fast forward. Let's fast forward to you get to the beach. You reach your destination. You're exhausted. You're beat down. You're tired from spending the last 15 plus hours in the car. But now you're on vacation, and it's Monday morning. You wake up for your first day of vacation, and you feel like trash.
Oh.
You're tight. You're sick. You're stressed. You're tired. You just want to chill. So you kind of suffer through your first day of vacation. On day 2, you start feeling a little bit better, and then by day 3, you finally get to start enjoying vacation. You enjoy your vacation, your time with your family at the beach for day 3 and 4, and then day 5 comes, like, man, we gotta drive back. So then you start getting to that stressed out, anxious kind of state again, like, man, I'm dreading the drive, dreading the butt drive. Then you spend 15 hours driving back home, and then for 2 days again, you just feel beat down and trashed and feel like you get hit by a truck. But you got an awesome day and a half of vacation where you
Going strong.
Where you felt great.
Going strong.
And you're kind of wondering if it was really worth it.
Mm.
That happens to so many of us. And we want to talk today about some tips and tricks you can use when you're doing a road trip so you can feel your absolute best when you get to your destination, make the most out of your time, and not just feel like you're spending the first 2 days recovering from the road trip, and then you're spending the first 2 days when we get back home recovering from the drive.
Yeah. So that'll kick us off. Welcome back to the Crescent 184 podcast, Built for Life. And that is so true for so many of us. And I think even if it's not a road trip and we're flying, or it's even just a few hour drive, it can really throw off our schedule. And it just throws your body off. Yeah. Like it is extra stress. I know, man, for myself, it's like you're packing for 3 kids and for yourself. And then you're also trying to make the house not a disaster. So when we come back, it's not like super stress mode. You know, you can come back and relax. There's a lot that goes into trips and vacations and that sort of thing. So
even leading up to the trip, when it's time to go, it's not a very enjoyable time.
No,
because you're stressed and anxious about getting everything that you need into the car and packed up and ready to go, and then you're also anticipating the long travel days and possibly how bad you're gonna feel the first day or so of vacation.
Yeah, so I feel like we've been on enough trips too. We've definitely learned some tips and tricks, and they're not brand new, but these are ones that work for ourselves and for our families.
They're really simple things.
So what's one of your favorite ones?
So absolutely, man, I put movement and hydration as very close 1s and 2s, but number 1 would have to be to stay hydrated and to prioritize your electrolytes. Even if you don't feel like you're sweating or working out or doing hard training, you're still like under mental fatigue and mental stress and mental energy, and you are getting more and more dehydrated. And we don't typically reach for the element or the electrolytes when we're traveling. We go for coffee and caffeine. So staying hydrated would be my number 1 tip, number 1 thing I focus on and prioritize when traveling on the road.
Yeah, and I would pack them up and bring them with you, and make sure you have lots of them, because you'll definitely drink them while you're on vacation too. But I think one thing, especially when I ride in airplanes, I'm like, oh, it's only like a couple hour flight. Like, I don't need water. I'm okay. But then I'm like, oh my goodness, I just also got to the airport 2 hours early. You're there for a couple hours. All of a sudden, like 6 hours could go by without really drinking water, which isn't my normal. Like I do drink, I'm not the best at drinking water, but I do drink water every few hours.
Well, also, like, if you allow yourself to slack off and slide and you say, oh, man, I'm not going to drink that water today, I'm not going to drink the element today because I'm traveling, it's going to take your body some time to recover from that to get right back to your baseline. So it's a lot easier to pour the element in your water bottle, sip on it throughout the day, throughout the drive, throughout the travel. So that way you may, if you typically have 60 or 90 ounces of water, maybe you have half of that. You have half the amount of electrolytes that you typically have, but instead of dipping down so low, getting so dehydrated and so off base, you only have a little bit that gets you right back to where you should be and where you typically operate.
Yeah. And you said, you're not working out, you're not doing the intensity, but travel days take so much mental capacity. Your body and mind is still working at such a high rate. And I know a lot of us, if we're taking the road trip, we're like, all right, less liquids as possible so we don't have to stop to pee. But what? Yeah, if you take Zev on a road trip, you're gonna be stopping every hour and a half, every couple hours. It's more than like when you're 38 weeks pregnant. But no, I would say just take the extra 5 minutes. You'll feel a lot better than just not having to feel pee so much. So
what I love to do is alternate back and forth between caffeine and electrolytes. So if you're having caffeine during your road trip and you're able to have fluids and not have to stop to pee 100 times in an hour, then have your caffeine and also have your electrolytes. Just make sure you're working them into the system, and you just have to be so much more intentional about bringing your own, like you said, pack it with you, because when you go into the gas station to find high quality electrolytes is going to be very challenging.
Right. Well, going into a gas station, I feel like wraps me into my number one is the biggest game changer for myself has been grabbing the fruits, veggies, and or protein first before grabbing what I want, which is like mini donuts or Chex Mix. Like, who doesn't love a good car snack? But it does not leave you feeling too hot. I have arrived many places where I'm like, ugh.
I don't know
so
why.
gross.
It seems like once you get in the car and start traveling or taking a road trip, it seems like you want to tell yourself that sugar doesn't affect you anymore. And
It's like it doesn't count.
Fried food and fried chicken
God.
and chocolate and ice cream. It's like, I would almost look forward to, back when I was competing and tracking and training,
Yeah.
I'd be looking forward to leaving town because I knew I would just gorge myself in crap and junk food
Yeah.
and pretend like it didn't affect my body.
And it so affects you.
Like, man, why do I feel like garbage?
It could not be what I just ate coming up here. No, so some tips and tricks, because we obviously know like produce can be expensive when you're going to the gas station. So a couple different options that we like to run by is either allotting for a little extra money to be spent on those snacks, knowing that you're going to feel way better, or packing your own. So even on this road trip, we have a little cooler in the back, threw some Spindrifts in there, and then we both packed about 200 grams worth of vegetables that we could snack on. So super easy, just were already in our fridge and what we needed. I think I grabbed a banana on the way out, so already have some good stuff. But what's like your favorite thing to look for at a gas station?
I love the challenge of finding as much protein as I can inside a gas station. And it's not always easy.
What's been your best ones?
It's like when we go to the airport, especially airport gas station is very similar.
Yeah.
A lot of people line up at the Donato's Pizza and get their personal pizza, which is like 600, 650 calories. I love to go and get almonds and beef sticks and fruit. And really, like, by the time you add up the calories in that, how many grams of protein you have your 200 grams of fruit. Like, that is a full out meal. And it may be a little bit more expensive than the personal pizza, but not by much. And you got your protein in, you got some healthy fat with the almonds, and then you got your fruits and veggies. That's what I love to do. Yeah,
that's like such a great hack though, because in everyday life, if you're putting nuts and seeds in your diet, you're only gonna have a little bit. A couple tablespoons, maybe a fourth of a cup is like gonna keep you in your calories. But if like you're not gonna get a full meal in, like all the way, almonds or pistachios or whatever nut you like, if you get one of those snack packs, would you say it seems like 5 calories in those?
Depends on the one, and There's a lot of calories in this.
It's pretty high. So definitely like utilizing those the best you can. But I would say I've seen several gas stations that have really nice, even if it's just a little bin when you first walk in, like nice and iced grapes or assorted fruit cup. Like that's kind of my go-to. I love a good fruit cup. I'm probably not gonna buy veggies at a gas station. I feel like fruit's a little bit safer. And I do that at the airport too. I think I spent like $8 on a fruit cup last time I was at the gas station, but it was a pretty good
Those are some expensive
quality.
grapes.
It's very expensive. There must be bougie grapes. I don't know, coming off the gold trees. But I just can't believe how much better I felt, and I was okay with spending the extra few dollars. I think I told myself I like wasn't gonna buy a coffee out that day.
It's also like a little bit of fruits and veggies with your like chicken sandwich. So if you're on vacation, you're on the road, and you want to enjoy something you don't typically enjoy, if you're going to get the pizza or the fried food or the French fries in the drive-through, awesome. And if you have fruit and or veggies before it or with it, it's going to be a lot better than just having that food by itself in your gut.
Yeah, absolutely. I was trying to think of what else my favorite thing was. Oh, protein wise, what's your favorite? What do you say was your favorite go-to protein source?
Definitely just the beef sticks. Any beef sticks you can find. I mean, the almonds have protein there as well. That some gas stations would have the hard-boiled eggs. Protein is going to be a challenging one. If there is gas station with like a fast food joint inside, you get the grilled chicken is going to be the best thing you can do, although you don't know what oil it's being cooked with. And then, I mean, I always pack my own protein, so I'll bring my protein powder. I've also packed Ziploc baggies of just chicken breast, and I mean, it's not like a huge chicken breast that I'm packing. It's 4 or 5 ounces, which is like 8 or 10 bites. It's just enough to know that I'm getting my protein in.
Yeah, I think packing the protein powder can be a huge game changer, because that's like, if we're not eating meat, protein powder is definitely the next thing we want to eat. And then it's going to
it's literally what it was created for, a supplement.
Yeah,
to
right.
supplement your diet when you're on the road and there's not another choice around.
Yeah. So, yeah, I would say my go-to is definitely the hard-boiled eggs. I'm not a huge protein powder person. But I would definitely use it if I needed to, or if you
cheese is a great option.
Yeah.
Cheese, you're gonna have some good protein. So let's move on.
Or
What's
nuts.
what's some other tips that we have? So we have stay hydrated, prioritize your fruits and veggies and or protein, and then what else?
As best you can, eat on a regular schedule. So eat at about the same times you usually would.
Yeah, so that's something that you just had a issue with this past weekend. We're in Knoxville.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, it was just even on the way down here, like my meals were off a little bit, especially with breakfast. Kind of had my coffee first, and then I was like, wow, I'm really feeling this coffee. By that time, I usually would have ate like my 4 eggs and some fruit and that sort of thing. So like had to grab a sandwich. And then a lot of the dinners while we were at this retreat were later. And I would just start feeling so trashy. I'm more of like a 5:30 dinner kind of person. 6 is kind of pushing it if I don't have a heavier snack. So yeah, 8 o'clock dinners, and then it was really, really tough for me to fall asleep. Like I could feel my body so exhausted, but something just kept running. And it was definitely both nights that we had dinners later. The second night we were there, it was more on time, and I had a great night's sleep.
If you're so used to eating an early dinner, like your body needs to digest all that food. Your blood sugar is going to come up when you eat, and then start to dip back down, and then your melatonin is going to get released, and then you do your wind down, and then you sleep really well. And when that's thrown off like that, and you eat so late right before bed, then you just like you're staring at the ceiling, laying in bed and wondering why you can't sleep.
Yeah, it was so hard. I even had my eyeball shut. But it's also really great to try to keep your digestive system regular. So
Mhm.
I know on the road it gets kind of messed up just because you're in new environments and your body takes on that kind of change as needed. But for the most part, if you can keep your consistent food timing or whenever you would usually eat your meals.
That's also like what we tell people back home is like if you're gonna have a dessert with your dinner, it's like have it as close to dinner as possible. And like the same rules apply when you're on vacation. Like if you're gonna have desserts and treats more so on vacation, same thing. Like bring that treat and that dessert as close to dinner as you can, so that way you don't have those spikes and crashes in blood sugar. And you keep it more steady over time.
Yeah, or even with lunch. Eat lunch and then
Yeah,
if
or
you
if you're
want
having
your afternoon
breakfast treat.
breakfast treat,
I
breakfast
will
pancake.
say too, like it kind of goes along the same thing. Is I'm not afraid to fast on vacation, and not a fast in the sense of like I'm gonna set my timer for 16 or 18 hours. I'm not eating until that fast is done.
Mm-hmm.
But I know like last summer when we went out west for vacation, after big meals, after you eat a lot, especially some junk food in the evening time, when you wake up and you're not feeling the best, sometimes I just like to let it pass and give it some time before I
Mm-hmm.
start feeding them more and more food. So I'm not afraid to fast and just to start eating when I actually feel like eating while I'm on vacation, and not just because it's breakfast time.
Yeah. No, that's also, it's like such a hard, that can be a hard yes and no, especially if you're staying with other families and they're like,
Mhm.
okay, this is breakfast time,
Right.
or you're staying with somebody or somebody's staying with you. There's sometimes a feeling of an obligation of like, okay, if you don't eat now, like we're not going to eat, which isn't really true, but just keeping it in mind, like you need to do what's best for your body in that moment in the morning. And what was your last one? Your favorite one?
Tips and tricks
Yep.
to move. Move as often as you can, and movement can be a number of different things. First of all, every stop you take at the gas station, at the rest area, get some kind of movement in, because as you're sitting down, everything is shortening, everything is just relaxing. Your blood flow is not right going through your body. So if you get out of the car and you take a short 2 or 3 minute walk, awesome. Even better than that is doing like the bouncing up and down and the shaking your hands, even some arm circles, some light stretching. That's all going to keep that blood flowing. Because as you know, like especially if you work out or if you're active and you sit in the car for hours at a time and you don't move at all, when you get out, like you're hurting and you're
Woo.
stiff.
Oh
So the
yeah.
more you can bounce around, jump around, swing your arms back and forth during every stop, the better off you're going to be.
Yeah. That's super important, and especially if it's nice out. It's easy to, if you're at a place that you're hitting the restroom at, like take a couple laps around the restaurant, or like you said, just some easy light bouncing and some arm circles
I
can go
would,
a long way.
yeah, I would say it's not static stretching. It's
Right.
just,
We're not holding movements.
especially because we're sitting still for so long in the car. It's almost the exact opposite of that. It's
Right.
to increase blood flow and move.
Or even some of the joint prep that we do for general warm-ups and
Yeah,
like high
absolutely.
kicks, skipping, that sort of thing, karaoke's.
Right.
Yeah, and then even, I mean, I'm not a huge workout person on vacation. I feel like it's very divided. And we've a divided household here. You like to definitely get a workout in on vacation.
Some kind of workout. Yeah.
Um,
I like to hit at least one workout with intensity. You
mhm.
know, it's not necessarily for everybody or the right choice for everybody. And I often coach people. I say, when you go on vacation, just go on vacation and enjoy it. And, you know, you don't feel like you have to have this obligation that you have to, you know, hit Fran on one day and then hit a 5K run the next day and do a 1 rep max back squat. Like
Yeah.
sometimes and some weeks and some trips, like it's okay just to chill out and do nothing at all and get back to it.
Yeah.
But I love to sneak in some kind of high intensity workout, and I have a really good system and plan of how I do that.
Well, what's the secret? Share us this
My
secret plan.
the secret plan. My favorite kinds of workouts to do if I hit a hotel, if I'm in a hotel gym or something similar, is I love to do full body movements for one, and something that's 5 or 6 rounds. 5 or 6 rounds is key. And what I like to do is I go straight into the workout as soon as I walk into the gym. And round 1 is like very slow, very lightweight and or body weight only. So I'll give you an example. This is similar to what I did when we're in Dallas for the mastermind. I forget what I did a hero workout. I forget exactly what it was, but it had some kind of running in it, and then it had hang squat cleans in it, and then it had push press.
Okay.
All right, it was 5 or 6 rounds. All right, so round 1, I walked. I walked on the treadmill. Instead of doing hang squat cleans with dumbbells, I did air squats, and then I used my arm, just body weight for my presses.
Okay.
All right, and then round 2, I picked up that walk, and now I'm doing like an easy, steady jog. It's still really slow jog.
Yeah.
I'm using those first 2 or 3 rounds as my warm up. So then if it's 6 rounds, the first 3 is kind of a warm up / ramp up, and then the last 2 or 3 rounds, I'm like getting at it, high intensity, hard pace, heavier weights. So then you're not spinning. You're not trying to talk yourself into warming up when you get in there.
Which is usually pretty crappy anyway.
Yeah. The easiest way to warm up is just to do your workout very slow, very light, ramp yourself up over time.
Nice. And that's really good for travel anyway, because I would say for myself, if I'm going to go down to the gym, like the max I want to spend is like 30 minutes in the gym, you know, because you still have your buffer time. You're going to get ready for 5 or 10 minutes. It's going to take you 5 or 10 minutes to cool down. So that's like a 45-minute commitment. And that's about all I personally would want to spend when I'm on vacation trying to rest.
Yeah, you think of movements that's going to hit full body, because if you're only going to hit 1 or 2 high intensity workouts during your week, you just want full body movements. But like, that's a great way to get in and get out. And if you want to cool down at the end, you just tack a couple rounds onto the back end at just body weight again, or really slow. So you're doing the same exact thing for 40 minutes straight. The first few rounds are light, the last 2 rounds are light, the middle piece is your high intensity time to get after it.
That's awesome. My first thought is actually just doing like the 7 minutes of burpees. Minute 1, really slow. Minute 2, pick it up a little bit, and then just keep building up. Maybe actually do like 3 minutes of full out burpees.
Yeah, and if you need high intensity training, that's a great way to do it. Or high intensity workout, that's a great way to do it.
Yeah.
And some people get fooled sometimes, like if it's a vacation or not a vacation, they think they're active, or man, I was active all during my vacation, or I'm active a lot at home doing. We talked about this a little bit with the last episode, but unless you're hitting that high intensity piece, that's what you're going to lose really quickly. So
yes, and this is specifically one way too, where if you don't want to get back to the gym and have that week of like, I was on vacation.
It's terrible.
It's so important to hit at least 2 to 3 days of some sort of high intensity movement, because then your body's not like in shock that next week. So that's a very good tip if you don't want to feel that way. For sure.
Yeah. The final thing I'll tie in with the movement piece is to move in the morning. Right, move in the morning. I mean, that's something that we do often. That's something that we did here in Knoxville during our retreat with Joel. Is like wake up your body with the sun, start moving in the morning, just a really light walk to kick on your circadian rhythm and be in check, be in sync. So that way your whole day is going to be lined up, and then you're going to be sleeping well at night. Just get up and move instead of just lounging around from the break of dawn all the way through till it's time to go to bed. Just get up and take a walk.
Yeah. Any other tips and tricks for us?
Man, I think that was all of them. We said stay hydrated, prioritize your fruits, vegetables, protein, move well, eat at the same time. Keep your sleep patterns the same. The sleep is a big one as well. Make your bedroom, wherever you're staying in, as comfortable as you possibly can, and also mimic it to be very similar to what you do back home. That can be a whole another episode on sleep, but I think that's all I got for now.
Yeah, I think those are great tips and tricks and things you can actually take and do.